For at least a century, art historians have debated, did Jan Vermeer use a camera obscura for many of his works involving perspective? Some of his works show such a profound appreciation of depth, it is difficult to imagine how even a great artist could have succeeded without help. And certainly other famous artists such as Canaletto and Joshua Reynolds are known to have used one. But firstly, what exactly is a camera obscura? The term comes from Latin and means dark room. Basically, it is a box or a room with a small hole in one side. Light from a scene passes through the hole onto an internal surface, where it is reproduced with its colour and perspective preserved. If the image is then projected via an angled mirror onto paper, it can then be traced by the artist to produce a highly accurate representation. As far as Jan Vermeer is concerned, his brilliant use of perspective for some of his works means that, for some people at least, he must have used such a device. But as we shall see, there are some problems with this conclusion. Firstly, the scenes in Vermeer's paintings were made up by the artist to convey the impression of upper middle class wealth. The various expensive marble tile floors, for instance, used to emphasize depth, didn't exist in reality. The first floor room where he did most of his work would have had a polished wooden floor, in which case a camera obscura would have been little use. Next, the north-facing windows in the room would have almost certainly not produced enough light to form a clear image in the camera. The light went through a simple hole rather than a complex lens, and the smaller the hole, the sharper the image, but the dimmer it became. Almost all the paintings known where a camera obscura was used are of outdoor scenes where there would have been plenty of light. Thirdly, there was no mention of a camera obscura in the large list of Vermeer's possessions when he died suddenly of meningitis in 1675, and his wife Katharina had to sell off his works and equipment to pay off his debts. It's possible Vermeer had already given it away or sold it, but that might be viewed as stretching things a bit far. Fourthly, any tracings from a particular camera obscura would have been about the same size. But whilst few of Vermeer's paintings are large, the ones where perspective is used vary in size from 17 inches by 15 inches for a woman holding a balance to 47 inches by 39 inches in the art of painting, a very significant difference. Clearly, using a tracing from a camera obscura might help Vermeer set out a painting, but it is unlikely he could simply copy a tracing onto a bare canvas, which rather ruins the point of it. But the most important reason is that he did not really need a camera obscura at all. In one-point perspective, which is by far the most common form inside a room, there is only one vanishing point from which an artist has to work. Having set out where he wants his vanishing point to be, all he has to do is draw off his orthogonals from that point to create the structural lines of his interior, the floors, the tiles, the windows and sills, and the furniture. And how does he do this? Well, ask any builder in the last 2,000 years how he draws straight lines on walls and floors, and he'll probably show you a chalk line. Secure tightly each end of a thin string covered in chalk powder onto your surface, pluck the string at the middle, and let it snap back into position, and you'll have a straight chalk line from point to point. Too easy? Well, maybe so. But so far, picture restorers have found 15 of Vermeer's surviving works, which have pinholes right at the vanishing point, just where his chalk line would have been secured. These holes were then later filled with paint. Vermeer may have been one of the greatest and most skillful artists of the Dutch Golden Age, but why should even he make things difficult for himself?